Hello, everyone, and welcome back to PSU LCS. Getting on into week 3 already. Feels like it's come back quick. Week 2 was a very quick week. However, we do have another great match for you guys here tonight with 2014 and IZF, Izone Fangirls. I'm Infamous Trash.
And I'm Devin.
Yeah, this is shaping up to be a pretty good one. We're still waiting on a few players in the lobby, so not getting a draft just yet. We've started a bit earlier than normal for once.
Yep, just waiting for one more player in the lobby. So currently the standings are looking like, seems like 2014 is currently 3-1, while izone Fangirls is currently 2-2. So it's based on the standings should be pretty close, but we have no idea just yet.
Yeah, 2014 is projected to be one of our top teams in the entire split. A bit unfortunate standing-wise for them, with FF15 being their first match, considered also one of the best teams currently in the league. So get to see those two squads work their way up potentially through the ranks, or we see other squads which are fairly good. izone Fangirl is still considered one of our what I consider our upper 50% of teams in PSU LCS, still looking very good, have a chance to kind of pull off some upsets and try to bring these teams back down to earth, if one would put it like that. izone has been having some pretty decent games. Their first week against Sandband looked very dominant, both games not even really close, whereas in week 2 did get 2-0'd by Mommy's Little Gamers. So looking to kind of swing the momentum back the direction here in week 3.
Yeah, so it seems like 2014 had some roster issues, almost not really roster issues, but positional issues. But it seems like they kind of finally sorted it out with in the first week where Renaxia was playing AD carry instead of just like Renaxia playing AD carry, Veo in mid lane, and now Chumsu instead of Kadari or whatever his name used to be in the top lane. So now they have Renaxia top, Chumsu mid, and Veo in the AD carry position.
Yeah, it makes a little bit more sense. Vale did play a fair amount of ADC for PokeSquad back in the fall split, so does have some experience at least with the role. Rednexalia, of course, one of our prolific top laners. Interesting enough, getting a pentakill against PokeSquad, 2 actually, in the same game. So nice to see at least Red back in the top lane where we know he can just straight up dominate the position.
Yeah.
Take no prisoners kind of style.
Yeah, in the past, I believe last split he had the highest KDA of all top laners, and maybe even all players in general in the PSU LCS. So perhaps he will show his prowess in the top lane this week as well.
Expect a Darius ban.
Oh yeah, and Kled ban probably. So from what
Set also now on the table, which we didn't have in fall. And Vale, I believe the last ADC we really saw him play to any real success was the Xayah. Not sure if he has too much experience on the meta ADCs of Misfortune, Aphelios, Varus, and Senna.
Yeah, and furthermore, I watched some of their last week's games, and they did bring out they played into Soraka, and it seems like Renaxia was able to pilot the Yasuo into that pretty effectively. So maybe we'll see that depending on how they decide to draft this game. And furthermore, we also have the Cinderhulk buffs coming in, which could be huge.
That's not up yet. That's 10-4, so that'll be next week, I believe.
Oh, it's next week?
Or this weekend.
Oh, really?
This game is currently still being played on 10.3. The patch has not launched yet for live server.
All right.
At least on my client it hasn't, so I'm assuming that's for everyone in the area.
Well. Right. Looks like
so no Cinderhulk buffs. Tank meta isn't here yet. We can all relax.
Yes, but Orange's still broken. True.
Oh my! I am not looking forward to that at all. Gotta love Ornn being a picker ban champ because it becomes nigh unkillable and now can one-shot you. I have very strong opinions on this champion, if you can't tell.
It appears to me that they're about to be ready to start. Not sure what the hold-up is currently.
Yeah, it seems 2014 just not readying up just in a minute, so getting some stuff figured out.
I think Panhandler being the host, he doesn't have the client. Well, he doesn't have the friends list since he might not be able to see the chat. I'll DM him just to make sure.
Alright. Okay, alright, we're getting in a draft here.
Alright, we're in draft. I think.
So yep, Nautilus hitting the band bench on the side of 2014, just first and foremost, is a very strong pick in the meta still. Some say even can rival the Leona pick, which we haven't seen too much in PSU LCS, but is still very strong. A lot of that coming from it, Nautilus just having the guaranteed engage of the point-and-click ultimate, whereas Leona stuff can be flash, zoned at hourglass, whatever really.
Yeah. So the Nautilus is actually a pretty good pick into Misfortune, because you can just interrupt the ult with the R with your not ult. So potentially they're looking to maybe pick that, but you know, Nautilus is just a pretty strong pick overall.
Yep. Rumble also banned away, is a insane flex pick at the moment. Can put top, mid, even in more niche situations. You can see him support and jungle.
Yes, Rumble also Vale has very strong background in Rumble, as he's posted many clips in the Penn State League Discord of him killing LCS junglers with his Rumble. It seems like. So perhaps it's just more of a cautionary ban, considering that they could still lane swap.
Yep. Pantheon and Cassiopeia also hitting the bench. Cassiopeia, right now I'd say probably one of the most meta mid laners. Isn't too often you see Cassiopeia in the forefront of the meta, but very good damage, decent CC with the Miasma as well as the Petrifying Gaze. Has a ton of burst if she can actually land a few Noxious Blasts onto a target, and also is very good into Juggernauts, which is currently the meta in top lane. So it can be flexed top or mid depending on where you really need her, as well as can be very good in those picks into the mid lane game.
Yeah, so we got Aphelios first pick. Vale's pretty proficient on Aphelios, as he, I believe, scored a pentakill maybe last week. I don't know if it was on Varus Aphelios, but he did get a pentakill on AD carry last week. So, Jilla's first pick, handshaked with a Varus. Probably will see AD jungle here is my guess, but not completely sure just yet.
Yeah, it depends on what we see from mid lane. Gragas still very powerful, at least still very powerful on the current patch. So could see those junglers still come out if you want to run something like the Kiana mid lane, which we've been seeing quite a bit in pro play. Not so much at PSU LCS.
Or very good.
Yeah, that's probably the best blind pick top laner in the game right now. Besides, yeah, probably is the best.
Yeah, he's pretty insane. I think his champion's not balanced. He had free items, free whatever. Aphelios Braum, very standard LCS bot lane duo with the J4 from Panhandler. His trademark Guardian J4 with Domination Secondary, where he maxes item CER. Very interesting build, but it seems like it's always been working for him since he has one of the higher KDAs in PSU LCS currently, I believe.
Yep, and I do really like the Braum pick over something more like the Tom Kench. Just Braum into Ornn in general is really good. Can block the ultimate, can just interrupt a lot of the combos that team might try to make, but a Soraka lock-in.
That's a triple flex with support mid and top, as well as Ornn double flex. Well, even maybe triple flex if I want to try the Ornn jungle. So right now, only set position is really AD carry, so they have to kind of think about how they want to draft into that, the rest of the team so far.
Yep, izone trying to pull out some tricky stops here. Throw a bit of stuff, and that is a no ban.
No ban coming from izone. This looks like it's gonna decide on time. So seems like for 2014 right now, they are just missing the solo lane. So they probably want to really eliminate what the mid the mid and top don't want to play against, since one of them has to play blind pick anyways.
Yep. And I find the Caston ban really interesting because we were talking about how AD mid laners was still an option for at least the side of 20, or at least the side of izone fangirls. So kind of interesting to see a Caston ban come out in 2014. If you're looking, I mean, I guess if you're looking to play a mage, is possible. I'm not sure if Lights Out like is a Caston one trick or something, but
Rek'Sai ban. Just afraid of Green's Rek'Sai potentially. No, Rek'Sai does seem to be a pretty high variance champion that should not really be relied upon in terms of play, but probably still decently strong.
Yep, does also have classic decent matchups into Jarvan and Lee Sin, so can counter early junglers, but not going early. izone fangirls deciding on the Kayn.
Oh, the Darius pick.
Redneck Salia is getting his Darius in top lane.
Somewhat surprised they didn't like to go for the Kled, the potential Rocket top. But of course, the Ornn and Rock are still pretty up in the air in terms of where they could go. And the Diana pickup from Chomsu, not really sure. I guess the Caston ban was for the Diana pick, so we have to see.
True, true.
Right now, I think you get an easy mid lane counter pick, but I'm not exactly sure what counters Diana.
Oh, could it also be Ornn mid? Ornn mid is insanely good right now as well. Can just neutralize the lane pretty much off the bat. Ornn also specking into an Abyssal Mask early. Can do a similar thing, and yeah, still flex available. Mordekaiser locked in, can go both mid and top.
My guess is probably more mid or more top. Actually, I think it's
I'd say probably more top. If you're looking to neutralize something, it'd be what I would assume would be the Mord. You want to neutralize the Diana, so you put Ornn in mid. Just build an Abyssal Mask and never die.
Oh.
And then against the Darius, Mordekaiser can actually fight against him. I'm not saying if that 2K's confident enough on the pick maybe to do that, but
seems
with
like
confidence and duel a Darius.
Yeah, seems like you're going for the Ornn top. I think Ornn mid would have been better, but maybe 2K probably feels more comfortable on the Ornn over the Mordekaiser. So we'll have to see about that one. So we have 3 minutes until the game actually starts for us, and we'll have to see how Diana plays into Mordekaiser, because I'm not pretty sure about that so far. Never really paid attention to that matchup too hard.
I mean, just judging from the basics of the kits, Mordekaiser needs to have his enemy in melee range, is one of those juggernauts, slow moving, very tanky, a ton of damage, especially once that passive comes out and just does AoE burn damage. Into the likes of a Diana, I'd say it's a pretty solid pick. Diana has to get in melee range to really deal a lot of her damage and use the optimal, like the majority of her kit. She has to be in melee range of you to do that. So this is going to be a competition of basically who does more damage. Is it going to be Lights Out on the Mordekaiser with the Obliterate and his magic pen and his passive, or will it be Chomsu on Diana with that quit burst, which the as our good procaster Kobe calls it, the moon suck in the ultimate. Basically just who does more damage.
Yeah.
I personally haven't seen the matchup enough to really determine how that goes. There will be some skill stuff, I think, more on Chomsu's side in being able to kind of dip in and out of Lights Out's melee range, because in the extended fight, I think Lights Out wins 7 times out of 10, just from virtue of his stats,
for sure,
and as well as the W shield. But with the outplay, and if you can kind of dip in, dip out, and choose when you take your punches, could be a fairly winning lead for Diana.
Yeah, I think top lane, Ornn's probably going to lose. But as long as Ornn doesn't probably have too hard, it shouldn't even matter. Since Ornn's just disgusting. And if Darius is even with Ornn, or even slightly ahead, I think Ornn will outscale them like tremendously. So I am curious to see if there will be any sinners in this game building a certain book against Soraka. We'll have to see how they decide to itemize.
Honestly, for how much bad rap Morello Namco gets, and deservedly so in a lot of different games, I don't think if Chomsu goes Morello at some point this game, I won't be mad at him.
I think it would be a good idea.
I actually won't be mad at him because you have In-Color Soraka for healing. Varus is probably going to build a Bork, which is self-healing. Mordekaiser is going to run Conquer, which is healing. Kane, if he goes Ross, healing. Like every single 4 out of 5 of these champions are going to have some component of self-heal.
I think
either from runes, items, whatever, and it's like a substantial portion.
I think someone did the math, probably LS. He said that going Lion Druids would probably out damage the healing, at least if in the mid game ish. But late game, I think Morello would be probably necessary. So
and realistically, against a Soraka, you're going to be wanting that late game healing reduction because, yeah, her early mid game healing is good and it's annoying, but it's a late game where it becomes nigh unbeatable to cut through.
Alright, looks like we're in loading screen now. Excited to see what this game will hold for us.
Absolutely. 2 Guardians taken.
The double Guardian.
By the side of 2014. Jarvan and Braum both pulling it out. And this is Conquer Diana, which I'm pretty sure is the standard build.
It is the standard, yes.
Alright.
Alright, looks like we're about to get into the game.
Yep. First matchup of Week 3 PSU LCS. Currently 3-1 to 2-2. IZone fangirls. I don't know why I keep saying fangirls. Looking to move up in the standings and try to stage a comeback here and break into those top upper echelon of teams currently sat upon by the 4-0 Mommy's Little Gamers.
Mommy's Little Gamers, indeed. That is a name. So it looks like we're starting with a standard line of scrimmage across the river, with no team particularly wanting to make a move into the enemy territory. I'm curious to see who will build a sweeper this game. Which junglers will elect to go back and get a sweeper early. I think Panhandler is doing that right now, and I'm not sure if Green will do that as well. In terms of jungle pathing, I do believe that Panhandler likes to go start bot side always on a buff, and Kane looks like he might want to. Oh, it looks like he's doing red buff instead of Raptors in this game specifically.
Yep, I will be curious. The jungle clear could see something more like Season 9 from the Kane, as he does have really good clear. Go something like red buff Krugs or red buff Raptors and do a full clear red side. But most common route for junglers to use here right now in Season 10, even after the 10-3 jungle changes, is still the red buff, blue buff, Gromp, or in reverse order. It's a very easy way to get level 3 off of just those 3 camps. And then you can go hit a really early gank, which is something especially I think Panhandle on the Jarvan is going to be looking for.
Yes. Seems like... Looks like it will be a red to Raptors to blue, maybe... I think he does Wolves as well on the way with his clear. So lane matchup wise, I do think that Aphelios wins the bot lane matchup, but only slightly, depending on the guns that he gets. Well, Diana should win early, I believe. Actually, it's probably even, more than likely not. Well, top lane Darius definitely wins that matchup. Ornn will probably just get zoned to death, essentially, for most of this laning phase.
Yeah, and realistically, if 2Kim just falls even if he falls 15-30 CS behind, yeah, that's basically a 2-kill deficit at worst in terms of gold. But as long as he's not forking over a bunch of kills to Red Next Alien and isn't giving him a super gigantic lead, that's a win for 2Kim.
Yeah, because honestly, Orange just scales monstrously unless we have a fight going on in the top lane.
Yep. He's very tanky even at the early levels thanks to that passive, basically giving him a free Mountain Drake and then some.
I hate to see him miss that cannon minion though.
True, true.
Alright, looks like it's kind of strange to me that I IZF Fangirls bot lane is actually playing so far back in terms of the wave because they know that the Kane's bot side and they don't necessarily have information on Jarvan's location, but they can probably infer that he's topside based on the path that they think he might have taken. So they're paying a lot of respect to the Braum affiliates bot lane right now.
Ooh, Lights Out going in on Chomsu, but the EQ combo comes in for Pain. They're just waiting in the wings on Scuttle. Lights Out actually going down around a quarter speed, going very low. Jump back in first blood for Chomsu. Green possibly looking to trade back in, but he, no, might get another hand. Pan finds the EQ combo and goes down at a double kill. Coming over to Chomsu in the mid lane, over-committing is Green for izone.
Looks like he was fighting in every single lane right now. Kind of crazy. Yeah, so I don't know why Green decided to go back in. Maybe he was greedy for the extra Red King's stacks, but don't think that's exactly worth considering how easily you can just get EQ'd by Jarvan once again, just in that. Since he was pretty low health already coming into the lane.
Yep. Did have a chance though. Wasn't like a good old CLG Wiggly in the FlyQuest game back in week 1 of the LCS. Just EQs onto 2 full health members. And insta dies, but not good, to say the least. And now Chomps with a huge advantage in this lane, having double buffs. Is a blasting for that Diana.
Blasting one
2K possibly going low here will not get pulled back.
He probably would have died even.
Oh, absolutely! If he got pulled back, that is a solo kill for sure. But with the double kill, we're already looking at a 1.4K gold lead.
Yeah, so looking really good early game for 2014. Every lane is winning. Bot lane's not winning exactly, but that doesn't matter. Bot lane doesn't matter. ADC is not. ADC as a position doesn't matter in my opinion. Because all they have to do is just chill for their team to do something, and then they can just win the game automatically as long as they position properly.
And one thing I would like to put out is look at all the deep vision that 2014 has secured in the bot side jungle of Green. He is just completely warded out. One up there by the river entrance in the new brush there, the season 10 brush, and also on his wolves. So Panhandler's just been able to track him the entire time and can play around it.
Yeah, it seems like Rukshak Warrior decided to go for wards after pushing in that wave like 2 waves ago. And that just gives you so much information about Kane's pathing. So basically, Renaxia can actually play pretty safely in the top side for a little bit before Kane decides to go to the top side.
Ooh, it's going on. Handler grabbing the ult on a Tukim going low, but he's able to just flash away for now. Ult for flash is a trade you want to take if you're 2014. Is a fairly good size wave pushing in.
Looks like they want to go for a dive here, actually.
Yep, coming in, Renaxia is walking through. Tukim goes out as Green comes up to fight. Flashing forward as Red, trying to get a few more attacks by the ulti. As the reset available, Green is very low and has a stack. Jumpsuit roaming up as well as 3 come to the top lane. And a double kill for 2014 top laner. Survives with a smidgen of health. Gets 2 kills worth of money, gets turret plating money, and the TP added to Kim.
Yeah, so 2014 solo laners are looking incredibly far ahead, with the jungler being pretty far in a deficit now that he's died twice. Well, I guess he's not too far deficit in terms of gold, because assists aren't worth that much overall. But the impact that the Panhandler is actually exhibiting this game is definitely a little bit of a jungle difference so far. So I think for the side of izone Fangirls, they really want to look towards the bot lane to try to have them carry the game, because if the Varus can get ahead, then there's a good chance that that izone Fangirls can just rely on the Varus to win the game, as long as he doesn't get deleted by the Diana later on.
Yep, which right now a very big possibility. 2-0 in the mid lane already this game. Talking about the Lights Out Chomsu matchup here, thought it might be a bit closer, but with 2 early kills and an assist, Mordekai's are just at this point kind of out of laning phase.
Yeah, so looking at the gold differences, seems like Chomsu is about 800 gold ahead, and while Renaxia is actually 900 gold ahead of their counterparts. While Varus is actually 10 CS and 200 gold ahead of Vale so far.
Not too big of a lead in bot lane, but still something to try to counteract leads gained elsewhere across the map for 2014. And yeah, right now this kind of just farming sim top lane. Red Exalia really can't do too much to 2Kim just based on 2Kim sitting under tower.
Yeah,
the entire time.
Not really liking what 2Kim's actually building for with what it looks like an Iceborne Gauntlet. He should be going for Sunfire Cave, which gives you way more stats with the Masterwork items. And I want to see IZO fangirls really itemizing properly to make sure they get the right item, the right Ornn Masterwork items, because too often do you see in LCS or in pro play where the teams just don't build Ornn items and you're just wasting Ornn passive. So I think Kane will probably build Black Cleaver this game, which will be good. And I'm not really sure what Mordekaiser will itemize in terms of Ornn items. So we'll have to see that.
Ooh, top lane. Red Exalia gets max stacks and the ulti manages to burn Incolor's Wish.
That's very
strong. Might have got down to the bleed, but so not enough. Chomsu finding lights out in lane, but just getting some chip damage and walking right now, though. The junglers finding each other. Panhandle looking for something green, though. Able to get away with some of that very good Kane mobility.
Alright. So looks like we have a fight starting.
The Forge Gods, yep, trying to disengage. Red Exalia still finds the E to bring him back in, going very low on HP from the Brittle. Jukin finds the knockup, and the Obliterate comes down. Easy kill and a double for the Mordekaiser. Jukin does fall over to, I believe it was
the Challenger's Might.
Burn, yeah. Chops it up. The top lane, they're looking for a re-engage. Gets screened down to about half HP, but the Kane ult comes out. Gets a little bit more damage on Chomsu, still very early, going half, and now it's time for the death drum. Chomsu versus Lights Out, misses the Obliterate, misses the E, kind of has to sit there and auto attack until the damage comes through, gets the passive, but he comes out of death drum just beforehand. Green going very low, and Obliterate to finish it off. Lights Out collecting 3 kills in an instant up in the top lane as Red TPs to try to find secure kill.
Oh.
TP should be able to get Lights out of there, and that is a brilliant turn by the side of IZO, and fangirls to work their way right back into this game.
Yeah, now that, well, Mordekaiser actually got all 3 of those kills, so Lights Out is looking very strong now. I don't think Diana will be able to even fight him after Lights Out bases and gets his items, because not a fully stacked Roa versus what I believe will become a Liandry's, or maybe Rylai's. I'm not sure about the build paths. I don't think it's winnable for Diana right now. It's a Rylai, so very likely Diana would not be able to 1v1 Mordekaiser anymore, especially with just a Roa.
At least a minimally stacked one will grow stronger as the game goes on. You get like 500 health, I think, off of Roa once it's fully stacked.
Yeah, eventually, but right now he's pretty weak in terms of he's at a power trough in terms of his itemization. I think he will be going towards the Nashers after this, so
yeah, I would expect to see that from a Diana. Does synergize very well with the rest of her kit.
I'm kind of curious on what they decide to upgrade for Lil Brain later, because he's gonna go Bork into Gensu's, and then I'm curious if he will wait for the IE before upgrading his items, or will he just upgrade the Bork straight up, because I believe the IE actually does give you more damage with the Masterwork upgrade.
I would assume so. I'm actually not sure what the Masterwork Blade of the Ruin King is both A, called, and B, does in terms of stat boosting. I know it gets better because that's what all of them do, but yeah, not entirely sure how worthwhile it would be over a Molten Edge.
Yeah. So I'm kind of confused on what 2Kim is actually itemizing here.
Oh, you're gonna have to hold that thought though, because Red Exalia going very low top lane, gets the Brittle proc, Challenge Smite's already down. He gets some healing from the Q, but just not enough. Green able to find a great gank off of that. Now it's Incolor, it's Fellow flashes away from the EQ, but it's the Cataclysm that comes out. Aphelios ulti going in, and the Infernum to burn him down. Incolor falls to the might of 200 years of battle and experience.
Yeah, so looking at chat, Spicy actually said that Might of the Ruin King is the name of the ornament, but in terms of stat, is actually the one that gives the least of any ornament items. So yeah, they probably did just want to wait on the IE build, the IE purchase to upgrade low brains items later on. So it seems like izone fangirls is actually coming back a little bit after a somewhat disastrous early game, somewhat disastrous like first 8 minutes or so, in terms of how they're approaching the map. But I do like that 2014 is trading essentially. Was trading earlier where Renaxia got ganked by Green in the bot lane.
Also, fair note in terms of build possibilities for both Fail and Chomsu. Green has gone with the Ross possession, I guess it's called.
Yeah.
Yeah, Ross, Red Cane, yeah, whatever you want to call it. So does have all that self healing. Possible teleport coming in. Dragon's already been secured. 2K flashing in, gets a knockup just on the Braum. Panhandler getting out for now, but will be put in the realm of death as the Ornn secures a kill. Panhandler very low. E brings it back, and Passive will burn him down. Wind Dragon for 2 kills over to the side of izone fangirls, as well as a Rift mid. Top turret going to be destroyed first, though, so first turret bonus in the end goes 2014's way.
Yeah, you can really see how powerful the Ornn is in terms of just team fight capabilities. From the last 2 fights that he participated in, he just offers so much CC and utility that is kind of unparalleled and kind of unmatched by anyone.
And he's already got the call again. Misses it though as Chomsu jumps on the battle line, gets a many-man ultimate, but the wish is still keeping everyone plenty healthy. Chomsu burning down, gets knocked up again, finds the shield and will get out alive. But Green says, "Thank you very much. I'll take those kills any day." Grabs the ulti on Ruckchuck to avoid the proc of the Gravitum. Still gets it in the end, but the healing coming through from this Raka, keeping him just by day. Glacial figure it out again, actually secures him after before the wall jump. Fail grabbing that kill. Now it's light out, stuck in the middle of 3. Gets hooked over by Red, and he'll take that shutdown away from his own AD.
That was a great Bromo actually in the Jaeger combo to cancel that blast cone over the wall. I want to see Veil purchase executioners at some point soon, as well as maybe Renaxia can hold on for a little bit, but I do definitely want to see Veil purchase executioners at some point because it's such a cheap item that will mitigate a lot of the healing coming from in color as well as green and lights out. But I believe that Phyllis would just go for the IE rush right after this Essence Reaver purchase.
Yeah, I'd say that's probably what you're looking at. Very good turn by the side of izone. Chomsu actually able to get a lot off with that moon suck, as I like to call it. But
so Ornn did get the sorry.
No, I was saying they overstayed a bit on that tower.
Yeah, so Ornn did go for the Ice Spring Gauntlet, which is questionable in terms of itemization.
That actually is very questionable.
The Sunfire kick is just so much better. After so much
you also get the automatic upgrade once you hit level. I think it's
Iceborne does give an upgrade. It's just worse.
Oh, it does. Okay.
Compared to Sunfire, yeah. Looks like after that's probably a Spear Visage, which is maybe it's Abyssal Mask actually, because Spear Visage does not give you the ornament upgrade, so probably it's Abyssal Mask. I'm guessing if that builds into it. Not really sure if it does or not. Does that Kindle Gem with a Ruby Crystal?
Yep.
So early QSS rush coming from Diana versus the Mordekaiser, which is, I think Diana opting for the 1v1 might not even be terrible, but at this point Mordekaiser is pretty far ahead, so the QSS might be a pretty smart purchase as it gives you some MR versus the Laundries in the Rylai's Crystal Scepter.
Yep. Ruckchuck actually gonna find pretty much the entirety of IZF in the river. Just will be a quick disengage as Red Nexalia is sitting there in the wings. Currently very strong still on the Darius with the 30 CS lead and 3 kills to his name. And what you're saying with the QSS, I actually am liking it more now that we're seeing that it's Chomsu who's being put against Lights Out in the side lane and not Red Nexalia.
Yeah.
So
well, Renex LA does have Spectre's Cowl, which will work, which is pretty solid again. So,
but if that's they can really put either they both them FTP, but if you're going to be the one dueling as the squishier of the two champions, Diana, don't mind to see some extra defensive capabilities.
Yeah, so the redemption coming out from Raka first, which is very smart in color, as you do want to get that ornament upgrade from the redemption as soon as possible, which will be very, very strong. And it looks like overall the team is itemizing pretty decently, except for Tukim's Iceborne Gauntlet purchase. And I'm not really sure what he's building with Keno Gem, the Ruby Crystal.
If you want to, I'll play devil's advocate a bit here because I do think it's actually not that. I think it's worse than Sunfire in this specific instance. Just some stuff that I could see him building Iceborne Gauntlet for, because I believe it builds out of Sheen. So could be trying to get some more damage off when he gets in these fights, but damage won't matter when he's getting 3v5. Yeah. Drake is up, so not really sure what they're doing. Chomp's going to claim that kill. Ruckchuck blocking the ultimate. Dragon is up though, it's already down to about 1500. Panhandler's gotta go, he gets it, he steals it! And now it's a 3-man Cataclysm, finding his way on the Lights Out and Green. Affiliate's ult coming in and doing some damage. It is the Chakra multi. Trying to find it, Ruckchuck forward, pulled in the Death Home, flashes the E to kind of kite away, is going very low, comes out, now it's Vale able to just burn down the Mord. A beautiful play out of 2014 to turn that around.
Yeah,
Panhandler with the clutch Smite steal.
Panhandler has been very consistent in smiting. I think I've seen him steal a few objectives already, and I was on his team last split on PSU LCS. This man is a very clutch player, very team-focused player, as you see him rush that lockout of the Iron Solari first item.
Hey,
even though I told him
Guardian Jarvan, man.
Even though I told him that he should go stone play first because that synergizes with the locket, but it's whatever.
Now possibly re-engage, looking for Green here, looking for get on Vale. Vale gonna flash away as the EQ combo comes in. Fan gets knocked up though in the end. Chomsu in there as well, but is immediately out. Now Rectail teleporting in the middle of the entire team, burning very low already. The Reyes doing so much damage. Lights Out, able to find the kill with that passive burn. A little bit of aggression there from 2014 on the team fight, but able to get out with just the kill on Vale so far. Though Call the Forge God looking for some re-engage. They're not able to find it. He is rooted up in the process. Braum trying to take as much damage as he can, but will fall eventually. The Little Brain Panhandler also falling very low himself in colors, claiming that kill with the Starfall. And that is a beautiful comeback from IZF to try to push back down mid, find the re-engage, and find some easy, quick kills.
Looks like Ornn is going for the Abyssal Mask, so I am pleased about this purchase actually. So that is good purchase in terms of ornament. So.
Ooh, this is a 21-minute Baron call actually from.
I think you get it.
izone, yeah, they could probably burn this down. You have a Mordekaiser, you do a Varus, as well as Soraka to keep everyone nice and healthy in the pit. 2014 has spotted them out. They do know they're on the Baron. Red's going to be the first one to be there, but we're going to see if he can even do much. Nash is already going down as the Varus ulti finds its way onto him, as well as Silence. 2014 should not be able to, I should say, catch up with this one. Chomsu though coming in with the TP from top lane, finds the re-engage on 2Kim, is able to dash up and now grabs him ulti though, finds both of them with this Diana ulti. Green going very low, immediately has to go into ult, but Glacial Fissure only finds 2Kim. Green gets a good knockup and is able to kite away from now, and very close combo there from Chomsu and Vale, almost getting the lockdown needed to get everyone back in. But 2014 just a little too staggered coming into the fight to get the damage in.
Yeah, that was a great Achilleo assault to try to stun them up, but at the end of the day, couldn't really do much since like they were too healthy really, and it was too far away to be able to put any reliable damage down.
Yep. Now it is izone who do get the Baron. Even still, 2014 still able to trade for that tier 2 top turret after the successful disengage from izone after the Baron fight. Dragon still not up here for, I believe, a few minutes time. I don't have my things on, so let me check real quick. Yeah, about a minute and a half till next Dragon's up, so plenty of time before we get what I assume will be our next team fight.
Yeah, it's soul point. It is soul point for 2014, so IZF fangirls really has to stop this dragon to be something taken. Luckily, they are red side, so they have dragon advantage. They have way easier way to access the pit. And I do think that Panhandler's flash will be up again for this dragon, so potentially we might see another Drake steal.
Would probably line up as dragon spawn every 5 minutes, and flash has a 5-minute cooldown, so
everyone's just gathering around this area.
Yep, vision control well in the hands right now of izone. Actually has done a very good job of clearing out the vision along that pit. Just have that one little ward up by the red buff on the bottom end of it. Is possible collapse on a Chomsu 4. Call of Forge going to be used just on the single person. Does find the knockup, does find the drawback in, but Chomsu still very healthy. Does manage to get a little bit of an ultimate off, a little bit of damage, survived for quite a while. Incolor eventually taking him down. That will be the Ornhorn, though, not available for the coming dragon fight, so one resource not going to be available, at least on dragon spawn, if they can kind of stall a bit before if there's a fight that's going to break out. 2014 really doesn't have to contest this if they don't want to. They're up to 3 Drakes to 0. That individual Drake buff not going to do a lot for them, so they could theoretically not take the 4v5 and just go and shove in lanes.
Yeah, but I think they do want the soul point here, or the dragon soul here, which would be super valuable.
On the back line, Panhandler's in the pit. He's going to be rooted up. He does not get the steal this time as he's right in the death realm. Flashes over the wall to escape, lights out. Green finds multi-man knockup, goes immediately back in, but he's stunned up and he's taken down. Vale securing that kill easily. Little bit hyphy from Vale on the re-engage. Did see, I believe, all 3 members.
Yeah, it's pretty much, as long as lights out does not panic, there's pretty much no way the dragon steal could happen because of the Mordekaiser ult. So this looks like they're going for a Zanya's next on Mordekaiser. I would like to see a death cap more because that gives you way more stats in terms of the Ornn item, but we have to see how they play it out.
Yeah, it's probably one of the more frontliney champions right now on IZF. I mean, 2Kim is going to be your main frontline. Ornn is just so unbelievably tanky at this point in the game. Level 13 with 2 items, both upgraded by his passives. So, lots of tankiness on the Ornn, but Lights Out can probably get burst down pretty quick by Red if he's in the wrong situation, or by Vale, who now does have the eye edge completed. So don't mind him going with some extra armor and just survivability in these team fights.
Yeah, but in reality, I feel like Mordekaiser should be actually ulting for 1v1s, and in 1v1s, I think he will be able to take on. I think he'll 1v1 everyone on 2014, probably without too much trouble. Maybe except for Darius, but I'm not completely sure at this point in the game. But he is 2 levels up on Renexia, so he can probably take him without much problem.
True. And now we're actually back to something that we don't see too many games get into in PSU LCS. We're just getting kill after kill after kill. Is actually the vision game being played quite well here, clearing out vision around Baron, around the dragon pits, and securing for next objective. Baron up in 50 seconds. There's your probable next team fight if someone wants to take it.
Yeah, probably the next team fight will be the Baron. Doesn't seem like 2014 is doing a great job of doing lane assignments, since everyone's just chilling topside rather than catching bot wave. While Green Lights Out is actually using his TP properly, getting that bot wave pushed in currently, while it seems like Diane is just chilling top lane Chomsu when he has TP coming up in a few seconds, it looks like.
Yep. Kind of looking for a pick here in the topside jungle. It's fair to note that 2014 has yet to lose one of their outer side lane turrets, so it's kind of hard for izone at the moment to really get a ton of shove and priority in those side lanes just because the turrets are still there.
Yeah,
that's why you can still see. Yeah, every time izone gets an objective, they pretty much lose a turret for it just because they don't have enough pressure in those outer lanes. Baron, though, started up by 2014 off of spawn. Mordekaiser does have the TP available, so Lights Out can get to this fight if he so wants to. Green will spot out. Baron down to around 8k HP. Teleport already coming in on the control ward, and this should be the contest. 2Kim has called the Forge got available. But 2014 decide they do not want this fight. They do not want to risk the 50-50, and they will disengage accordingly.
Yeah, they did bait the TP out of Lights Out, which is really, really good. So now they can actually, if they so wish, they could, well, they honestly should try to use Diana and Darius's TPs to try the side lane to just out split push, because I don't think 2014 can win team fights very easily with this, but they can win side lane pushes. Not like easily, but they can definitely win them.
2014 going through reclaiming vision of this Baron pit, making sure that izone fangirls have to guess about if they're doing it or not. Will be a bit scarier now that they have only 2 Kim's TP, or also not the best split pusher without the coming Sunfire buffs.
Yeah, I mean, he doesn't even have a Sunfire, which is pretty strong.
Oh, Call the Fortnite, they're gonna be chilling mid lane. Chomsu flash away, but he still goes into it anyway. Flashing forward is green, trying to find something. QSS immediately burned the slow, but he's got the ult, and Little Brain actually secures that kill off the pullback from Lights Out. Great pick from izone, and not really sure where Chomsu was going with the flash.
Oh, it looks like they want to trade Soul for Baron potentially, based on how the 2014 is positioning.
Yep, already going for it. Lights Out though in the mid lane, might look to rotate down and stall. Baron's still very healthy, not burning through this probably as fast as they like, because the mountain break's already up.
I think this...
That itself gonna go very quickly with Vale having the...
Yeah, this trade is very worth for 2014, I believe.
Yeah, getting the Mountain Soul onto their carries. Does grab the dragon, Lights Out, finds a way into Ruckstruck, but with that Unbreakable, he's going to be pretty tanky. Stalls the fight, though, as now the rest of izone fangirls collapses. Giant E from Lights Out pulls the whole team back into him, and now the damage comes through. Re-engage, trying to find on his way on the pan. Another Chomsu's in the entire team. Gets a 4-man ulti, but it's just delaying the inevitable. Lights Out grabbing another kill with the Obliterate. They're able to find a pick off the back of the dragon, too.
Alright, so they have Baron buff here, so don't think they can necessarily end off of this one, but we have to see how they play it out. As long as they don't run it down, I think.
Yep.
I think 2014 is
still very
stable.
healthy, so have a lot of sustain here, even with the enemy having a mountain break. Should be a pretty free inhibitor for izone this time around. Yep. So that's good use of the Baron off that dragon rotation. Had to force the entirety of 2014 to actually go out through that bottom side of the pit, so they do not have the intra track on mid, and izone just able to push right down to the inhibitor while everyone backs.
So looking at the purchases, there is an IA purchase from Lowbrain, so that's the ornament being built with the Molten Edge. So, oh,
actually upgrades the Bork.
That's a
feels bad, man.
That's a yikes. You really do have to. You really have to put the IE in the first slot. Listen, buddy, you gotta put the IE in the first slot. This is what Shakara calls losing to the shopkeeper. What they call that. That's a really troll. That should never happen.
Oof. I'm not really sure how you correct that entirely, other than just putting it in your one slot. But
I think if you sell the Bork, and then buy another one later in the game, you can reforge it. You can reforge the IE, but right now it's not really doable.
I'll say you might as well just keep it. That point has a lot of power. Using resale value of those completed items, not exactly the highest.
Yeah, so
happy to see though. Could wait till he's level 18. Also, Ornn only having a limited number of those upgrades. Probably wants to get something on this insanely strong Mordekaiser.
So first Executioner's Calling purchase from Vale now, with no other previous wounds on the side of 2014 versus the triple, potentially 4 healing champions. Though the only significant healing are really Raka and Kayn, in my opinion.
Yeah.
So
Mordekaiser only healing once you get those Conqueror stacks, and now it's called the 40. Another fight comes out. Big knockup from Panhandler. Finds the Cataclysm under tower. Goes into the stopwatch to buy more time. Redemption coming up. Minkler going to buy even more than that for the side of izone fangirls. 2-Kip goes very low, but the Wish keeps him healthy. And just not enough damage to burn through that healing on izone. The push continues. Red going to be taken to about half HP after the Sterix pops. And now we wait for waves. Supers will be crashing mid lane, so it actually pulls away Veil to deal with those. Waves not synced up means that should be fine for 2014. Nothing they should be able to clear here before the push continues, but with minions back around, Little Brain should be able to get a lot of damage on his tower. Is 2Kim actually TPing from topside to keep the push alive. 2014 just backing off, going to give the inhib.
Yeah, so looking at the objectives, looks like Baron and Elder are both coming up around the same time in 2 minutes. It looks like not really sure how 2014 wants to play these. I think they should have really tried to use the solo laners that were ahead earlier on to try to snowball, but I guess that didn't really work out too well for them. And looks like there's a Randuin's purchase from Mordekaiser now. Well, and the last item will not even be a Rabbit on Death Cap, so looks like the ornament from Mordekaiser will be the Zonya's Hourglass, or the, I'm not sure what the name is, but
yeah, I'm not sure what the Zonya is. I'm not too familiar. That's the one thing I really have not gotten even remotely. I know Molten Edge, and that's pretty much it.
Yeah, it looks like it's a Zonya's Paradox according to one of our lovely viewers in the chat.
Sounds about right. Sounds spicy.
Yeah, so in reality, I think IZone Fangirls has already outscaled 2014's team comp with so much healing and the orange just being so powerful with the ornaments. So the only realistic way for 2014 to win, I believe, is to either use the side lanes properly, or where IZone kind of makes a mistake. And in my opinion, the game will be pretty hard for 2014 to call back. We'll have to see how it turns out.
Yep. Finds the Eon to red, gets the root as well as the knockup. Now called to the Forge coming in for the re-engage. Ruckchuck not able to block it as he's in the Death Realm. And so the knockups come through. Little Brain already finding one kill onto red. Ruckchuck going very low tower. Green looking for the follow-up, but will just flash away. And a great few picks is another one coming through for Little Brain. Knockups continue to fall from the Ornn. And that is going to be the second inhibitor down, one respawning in mid lane. And still, it is now a 5v3 with all members of IZone still alive and available. Possibly looking for the end push. Elder and Baron are both up, so do have to be careful. If they lose too much here, they won't be able to contest those kinds of objectives. We'll just back off though in the end, sees that the Elder's up, and are probably looking to go claim it here in just a few minutes.
Yeah, I'm kind of curious to see the damage charts after this game, because it does seem like Little Brain is putting in a lot of work, but I think Mordekaiser is actually outputting more damage regardless. It's very difficult for Veil to be able to do damage in some of these fights because of how strong the Mordekaiser is, even though he is not actually focusing on Veil. It's just like there's so much zoning coming in from IZone Fangirls.
Oh, nice shield from Ruckchuck, but it doesn't really matter. The Elder already can go down. Good zoning from the side of IZone just to make sure there was no chance for that 50-50 contest. And now you've gone out of base for too long, 2014. You have to return and deal with the 3 lanes of double super minions pushing in, and that's gonna mean probably a free Baron here. As
some of the casters like to say in professional play, this might be the final nail in the coffin with the Elder Dragon. In reality, it probably could have ended the game with just the Elder Dragon, but they want to secure it with the Baron buff. So unless IZone literally runs it down, I don't think 2014 can win this first game.
Yeah, this should be the death push here. Baroned up minions in 3 lanes of supers, as well as the Elder Dragon on a team that has not lost a team fight in what feels like around 15 minutes.
Yeah.
of play is going to be a steep mountain to climb, even with the Mountain Soul. And yeah, I'm just waiting on the minions to come into this base so they can secure these next turrets. Green, Kim, and Lights Out taking the front side as Little Brain gonna pick from the back. 2014, this is it. If you're gonna make your stand, this is where you're gonna have to make it. The minions are gonna be too strong for you to kill off.
Yeah, they really have to fight
Nail doesn't have that much DPS. You just gotta turn and fight it if you want to have a chance. There's one inhibitor up left, and there's the flash ring gets Panic. Finds the Cataclysm on 2, but his team's not there to follow up just yet, so he's just gonna pop the stone plate and get picked down. Red in the middle of the team taking so much damage and will be executed. Another one going down. The dragon roars, and 2014 falls.
They're all full health because of Soraka.
Comeback game here from izone as they managed to pull back what was a disastrous early game, and they will take game 1 versus 2014. Hello, welcome back for game number 2. If you're just joining this, which I highly doubt, I'm assuming all of you were here for at least some of the first game. IZF managing to complete what I would consider a bit of an upset over 2014 in game 1, able to just kind of outperform and out-execute with their draft. And speaking of draft, heading into game 2, what are you thinking about here?
I think
what these teams should change.
The Ornn, very powerful pick. Try to pick it away, or ban it. Since they don't have first pick. I think this game was just predicated, or the last game was predicated on how the scaling kind of happened. Because Ornn just outscales, because since he wasn't put too far behind, so he just kind of outscaled the 2014 very hard. Other than that, the Rocka's pretty strong, but I don't think that's necessarily why 2014 lost. I'd say we have to see this how they want to do that. Oh, that's a Rocka.
Yeah, and I did like the Soraka in the end last game, because there really wasn't anything to punish her. You weren't looking at the likes of Leona or Nautilus or something. That Rakshak was using, he was using a Braum, which has very low initiative, I guess you could say, to get off those engages and really threaten the squishy support. So could just abuse the healing and the range and the silence and all that good stuff.
I think Leona might not have been terrible to be for Rakshak to be taken, but I'm guessing that they want to peel for Veil, which they want to have a champion that can peel for Veil rather than engage. Because the J4, that Panhandler, the trademark J4 of Panhandler, already fulfilled that purpose of engaging, so we have to see. Oh, there's the Ornn
yep,
first
and
pick.
Cassiopeia rounding out of the band. Wouldn't be surprised to see the Ornn first pick. It's a little bit of a BM hover with the Darius, but should be the Ornn locked in. Yep, way too strong a pick to give up. Great blind pick top lane, pretty nigh unpunishable.
I think I would have liked to see the Ornn banned out, but not really sure what other bans they forfeit. I think Nautilus. I think they can avoid banning Nautilus. I don't think Nautilus is in the top tier of the supports anymore.
That's a Felios Braum picked right back up for game 2.
Maybe they go for the Rocka again here. Oh, the Rocka's on, but
is this the salty run back for 2014?
Perhaps. Oh, that's. I mean, that's actually a good.
If it worked the first time, it'll work again.
Probably want to see bot lane here. Unless they want to.
I would assume this would be the support. You already see the Braum locked in. Unless you have really high priority on that Diana.
So,
will be a Senna.
Yeah, I don't actually like the Braum pick that much.
I really don't like the Braum pick, especially considering this will be the second game in a row where IZF has purposely not picked before the support and has been able to get a support that can abuse Braum lanes.
Yeah, because Braum is good if you're playing weak side, I think, and Karthus pick is very good. If Ellis was paying any attention to Penn State League, you'll be very pleased with this Karthus pick, because Karthus is pretty busted, I think. That champion's on balance.
He is very strong right now. Can be punished early game though if you pick like a team comp that can punish him. Don't know the mid lane matchup right now. Don't know the top lane matchups. Not really sure how those lane priorities will work out for Chomsu. But we've seen a lot of different examples through pro play of Karthus both being dumpstered and being just insanely OP. Mind wanders back to the Origin game from last week in the LEC, where Xerxes piloted Karthus and actually just abused the living crap out of I think it was a Lee Sin in the early game, which should never happen. That was because of more of his other lane assignments and how the priorities match out. So it can be an extremely strong pick, especially into the late game.
I think I want to see Chomsu potentially piloting an AD champion to kind of round out the top side, because
never pick a fight
if they just build Hex Drinker against like a double AP, like if the mid laner once goes like an AD champion as well, just a Hex Drinker, it's actually donezo for Karthus, because Hex Drinker just obliterates all Karthus wants to do, and it's so sad when you're Karthus and you have to play against someone that has Hex Drinker. So Camille, that's a good pick.
Camille IZF has the true damage, so can actually deal damage to Ornn.
Yeah.
Imagine.
I think up Fiora and also be a pretty good pick, because you can just parry like 4 of his things and it will all stun him. Since
True.
Ornn is just full CC, like.
I don't mind the Camille pick either, though. I think there might just be going with the option of either A, comfort, or B, doing something along the lines of team fighting versus a split push comp. If you're picking the Fiora, you're almost always 100% of the time going to be going for a split push composition and trying to just have that Fiora on the sideline getting objectives for you guys while you get control the rest of the map best you could, which could work with like a Braum. There's a lot, and a card there's a lot of disengage, a lot of peel. But if you're picking Camille, you still have that option of going out in the side lane, and you can group it up in a team fight to dive the back line.
Nocturne mid. This is a really good pick into Kassadin, I think.
I think so as well, and that is the AD mid laner that you're looking for, though not on the team you were looking for.
Yeah. There's no Hex Drinker builders here, so. And you do honestly, Hex Drinker might not even be too efficient on this team on IZF fangirls. So I think draft wise, I'd actually probably give a slight edge to 2014 because Karthus just scales so insanely well. And I do think that topside is all winning lanes. So Karthus just chose topside and gets a lot of farm. He pushes in, like, and it's pretty much a free farm for Karthus here. Bot lane, I think Senna Varus probably wins that matchup, but we'll have to see how it pans out. Most likely, it's actually just the even matchup in reality.
I will disagree with you, but on one condition entirely. If Green can pilot the Rek'Sai well in the early game and get an early gold lead, not necessarily insane gold lead, like maybe 1.5k gold lead, and just get some objectives early for izone, I actually give the edge to izone in this draft. I think their ease of execution of their comp is so much lower.
Yeah, I see that too. Yeah, that makes sense as well.
Because although yeah, you do that late game stealing the Karthus, I think it's very hard to execute team fights around objectives when you look at 2014's comp. They have a lot of strong individual pieces for individual jobs. I'm not sure how it'll all fit together, because you could have Redneck Alias, Camille, and Nocturne both diving onto the back line. But then you guys have this Braum sitting somewhere in the fight. Maybe he gets a Glacial Fissure out at some point, but if it gets ever broken up, I'm not really sure how 2014 deals with that. Whereas I feel like izone Fangirls has a very clear team fight, very clear how they want to play it. They're going to have an Ornn in the front line. They have a Rek'Sai for good engage with the Unburrow and the Flash. You have a Kassadin, which if he's not behind come mid-game, can just absolutely demolish pretty much everyone on that team, minus the Braum. Kassadin, if he gets to the point where he hits 16, will just do so much damage. And then Varus and Senna can kind of sit in that back line and poke out. Senna and Varus both actually do have some forms of self-peel, so can possibly get away from Camille, and if they're grouped up with their Ornn or Green, Shamsu and the Nocturne is really not going to get a chance to do anything.
Yeah, I can definitely see that as well. It's just that I think that if lanes play out properly with Camille and Nocturne, I don't think Rek'Sai can actually get anything off, because if they spiral games properly, track Rek'Sai properly, it's a very coin flip jungler to try to get a lead with Rek'Sai into those lanes, but we'll have to see how they how the lanes kind of pan out for that for you to really know if izone will get ahead in the early game. Because I think if the two solo lanes get ahead, and Karthus is out to just free farm, it'll be very difficult to itemize against 2014 Steam Comp, because the Karthus will just do so much damage. While they're still good, they're going to be at least 2 strong AD threats depending on which lane gets ahead.
Yep. And the only thing I really like, hard criticize on IZF's comp is just the lane's coordination with green on Rek'Sai. Kassadin and Ornn, especially into a Camille and Nocturne, are just not going to be good ganks for this Rek'Sai early.
Yeah, like
it's gonna be like before Kassadin really gets like that Rod of Ages and gets like level 9, I'd say 9 or 11, somewhere in that range. He's just really not gonna be able to do much to help the Nocturne. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe Rek'Sai can just like freaking one-shot the guy. It doesn't matter as long as Kassadin burns a spell shield or something. But it kind of forces Green to more look at that bottom lane of Varus Senna, which really could work if you get the. I think that would be the lane if you're looking to win a 3v3. That would be the lane to go in.
Yeah, I think that at 6, Ornn and Rek'Sai can do something together, but before 6, I think it's very difficult for them to be able to win a 2v2.
Especially considering Red Exhale can always just hook shot out of there.
Yeah.
If he doesn't burn it on the engage.
Yeah, it's kind of predicated on how the lane's playing out, but I think early laning phase, if 2014 plays properly with their matchups, I think they will have a strong topside advantage, where Karthus is able to kind of just do whatever he wants for until level 6 at least, and then at level 6 Karthus is already strong, so we have to, and then Karthus is already strong, and I think that would be a slight advantage towards 2014. But of course, every player makes mistakes. We're not playing with poor players here, so we have to see how they decide to play the lanes.
Yep.
So early line of scrimmage drawn as usual. Good word on the Raptor entrance for Karthus so that he knows if he gets countered by the Rek'Sai and not, he won't get one shot by early Rek'Sai invade. So yeah, as I said, Karthus probably does want to play towards topside this game. Oh, a lot of pings coming out to the Braum on the bot lane.
Yes, just spotting him out right now.
Oh, the heal burn from Low Brain. They don't know.
Yikes.
2014 doesn't know Pepe Lab.
That is a yikes
They don't know
for me,
about
dog.
2014 doesn't know about the heal burn. Pepe Lab.
Press D to dance.
Alright, let's see how this thing plays out.
Oh no, cast it in the farm. Unfortunate. That auto attack left up at like 3 HP.
Nocturne will probably demolish Kassadin.
Yeah, this should be a super easy lane for Nocturne. Should just be able to go roam wherever he wants come mid game.
Yeah, for sure. I'm pretty sure Ornn can actually win matchups in the 1v1. Oh, looks.
Oh, Rek'Sai spotted out going for the Indian. He actually does a ton of damage. Only at level 2. Trades about evenly with Chomsu. So
Nocturne does do a lot of damage as well. He didn't go for a lethal tempo, which was kind of surprising. But I guess I'm not really sure where you're supposed to go on Nocturne mid at this point.
yeah.
I think
Also,
electric is fine.
might be going specifically for just like one-shotting someone with the electrocute, but
Oh,
stun actually lands from the Braum passive Inkiller, forced to immediately flash out.
that's a lot
Shot
of.
burning the ignite, but very good trade there from 2014's end of it.
Seems like Ornn is actually slightly winning this matchup, which does make sense slightly. The champion's not balanced.
Yeah, just not.
It's not balanced.
Ooch. And
A
there's
level
that
down.
lack of vision around mid lane. Chopsu probably could have taken that fear if he wanted to and probably gotten the kill off of it, but
He is still
Not
level
against
down.
yeah, he doesn't see the jungler either. Oh, it's a Kassadin.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. Oh,
Panhandler
gank?
looking for a gank out too,
Nothing's
Kim.
gonna happen there.
Yeah.
No, he's just getting some XP. He's helping him push.
Oh, you're setting up a freeze? Nah, I got you, man. One shots the casters.
Oh, the builds. What do we get? We get a stopwatch there? I think he can build a stopwatch.
Ooh, that's another thing that's actually kind of interesting about this Camille Ornn matchup I just thought about. So Camille gets her shield based off what type of damage the enemy champion does, so AD or AP. So because Ornn is theoretically a melee AD champion, Red is going to end up getting the AD shielding. Oh, is gank bot lane. Rek'Sai coming in from behind the pit, forces the flash immediately out of bail as well as a heal. Great little flying bot lane there.
I think if Rook should apply the passive on Low Brain a little bit earlier, they might have been able to get a bit more out of that, since he did have the right gungs to quickly get the stun off, but I don't think it would make too much of a difference.
Yeah. Back to my quick comment top side there just for a minute. Ornn's Brittle, as well as the ultimate, is actually all AP damage. So if the Brittle's already on to red, the shield does absolutely nothing. Because that all gets converted into AP.
Oh, this is actually 5-hit from 2014. They purposely drafted a slightly losing bot lane to let the Karthus get farmed.
Poggers.
That's a 5-hit.
That's what I want to see. Green does get the knockup. Fear comes in on Chomstu. Lights out. Still level 5, so...
How is Chomstu
really...
actually level down still? He's the same CS. I guess when he
think
went
he
for
actually had to like back off and like that really like a round route.
Yeah.
Kind of put him behind.
Oh,
Little Brain's back
nice.
actually cancels, immediately burns the flash. Because he didn't have heal off cooldown.
Oh, I wonder why. Well, it's actually coming off right now.
But we'll lose. Nah, didn't back, so he'll have to stay for at least this wave.
Yeah, next wave of the cannon wave, so he can actually back.
Yep,
which
Green
will be fine.
Was looking for something there. He is spotted out by Ruckchuck though, so gotta settle for Krugs.
So the lane matchups are going a little bit different from what I expected, which is kind of interesting. Permanently a level, Nocturne is still permanently a level down. I guess from that prior rotation to the Raptor pit. Overall, the game is pretty even still. I think there will be at level 6 when all the level 6s hit. I think there will be something going on. Something will happen on the top side of the map.
I would have to assume so.
Most likely. Sorry, go ahead.
Even, which is good for the Ornn, I guess.
Yeah, which is really good for the Ornn actually. I think it's a bad thing. I think it's pretty bad that Camille isn't a decent amount ahead off of this matchup, but Ornn is broken, so what's new?
Yeah. Also, Camille better at the scaling part of it. Her early lane not exactly anything about, so not super like insane that Red hasn't just destroyed lane, although taking a very good trade here so far, but Ornn in the sustained game normally coming out ahead.
Yeah, it's worthy to note that Red can now always ult the Ornn ult and just fight, knowing that Karthus does have ult at this point in the game. We'll be able to secure any kills that might be...
passive, Braum passive is on Little Brain, gets the E though, so Ruckchuck ain't gonna be able to pop that. As here comes the Paranoia just for defensive right now in the top lane. Red able to dodge the Ornn Horn, misses the Q. Can't get out just yet. 2 keep going down. First blood over to Red. Just as we say, he hasn't been doing too much in the lane. Finds his way to make the pick. A great little ultimate there to dodge out of the call. As I'm not really sure what the Paranoia was looking for, because it was on the wrong end of the map to really help out.
I believe they were looking for a gank on the bottom lane, but they were too far pushed in for anything to happen off of that. Oh,
This mid lane is so interesting because Chomsu should be just hard winning that lane, but because of that little like level 2 excursion he made, isn't able to, as now the re-engaged Little Brain able to find the pick immediately. Great knock up from Green. Incal are going to find the second onto the Braum. Chomsu, no Paranoia, can't come in to help out, and first Drake going to go to the side of IZF.
Yeah, they kind of just got collapsed on there with uneven members. 2014. I mean, since we knew that Karthus was top. Oh, that's Sunfire Cape purchase. Actually, looks like.
Hey,
they learned.
There we go.
They watched the stream.
They watched the stream.
Sunfire Cape. Oh, looks like they're going to the Bombi Center into the catalyst of the Aeons or whatever. Since he has a Mana Crystal right now.
Yeah, probably just going for the straight Catalyst next. For that extra mana so he can sustain better. Or just keep trading in lane better.
Yeah.
But not gonna land from Red, does get brittled up and takes a little bit of damage there, but not too too terribly poorly off. At this point, does have the Vampiric Scepter to heal back up pretty much immediately.
Titanic. Yeah, looks like he's running Ravenous Hydra. Which
What is that?
pretty good actually. I think I'll have to see the Triforce more, but I think the Ravenous, if you want to just hard shove, is also not that bad.
Tukim taking another very unfavorable trade here, trying to get a little bit of damage back, but just keeps taking more in return. The Camille's starting to show its worth here against the Ornn in the top lane.
Starting to outscale this pick.
Interesting to say about an Ornn, but then you realize Ornn isn't meant to be a combat champion.
It's true. But in the side lanes, Camille will be very devastating later on, especially when he gets Hydra. And I'm guessing he probably will get a Triforce after the Hydra. He'll be really, really strong. I think I would have preferred to see the TM92 Triforce here, but I guess they're looking for more sustain in terms of the stats, especially in terms of split push.
Yep. Can see that. Green's here though, trying to look for pick on a red, gets a knock up, but it's not actually ends the inner and red the hook shock ulti to avoid the red ult. That was clean from the top lane.
So
but the gun's going to find its way on to Little Brain as Chomsu actually still does a massive amount of damage when he wants to.
He only has a serrated there, so he actually did so much damage for just a serrated. Actually, they do that. Neither of them have a lot of cloth armor, so I guess it's fine. It makes sense for them to.
Level 8 casting, everybody. Just half health the Karthus. Let's go.
What's going on with my client? My brew buff is not on the Kassadin. It's slightly offset. That's interesting.
Very nice.
I guess
that kill's actually horrible for Little Brain. Gonna lose so much farm and XP.
Lost about 2 whole waves.
Easily, yeah. Managed to catch here for most of the last one. And that is what I would call a trade. Going back to the top lane, that was very clean play from Green and Tukim. Able to interrupt the hook shot with the Call of the Forge God. Green gets the initial knock up. Doesn't change the CC exactly perfectly, but makes it work anyway. And then avoids the Hextech ultimatum while still putting on cooldown with his own ultimate.
Yeah.
That's pretty clean.
It's pretty hard for Community to avoid that, I think. Especially since there's so much CC coming out. You just have to dodge everything, and not really sure.
Oh yeah, Caston does have a very interesting build here.
Is that supposed to build into a righteous? Not righteous. What's it called? I think I've seen this build somewhere. It's like a tank Caston build that's like does like 2 billion damage for some reason still. Maybe a Gauntlet. Might be an Iceborne Kassadin.
Some of the Iceborne maybe.
Frozen Heart. I've also seen a whole Frozen Heart Kassadin, which is pretty interesting.
That would actually not be too bad against a Camille and Nocturne, given they're both melee champions and do a lot of their damage once they get that increased attack speed.
Yeah.
It also gives you 110 armor.
So we'll have to see.
Nuts.
Looks like this man's getting frozen on a little bit, though he decides to break the freeze for some unholy reason.
Lightout actually going for the engage here, knowing his jungler's nearby, does not find the Unburrow just yet. Braveseeker going to tag him for a bit of damage, but is able to just float his ghostly self on out of there.
So Dragon's coming up in about 30 seconds. Panda's not on the right side of the map for that. With Gustless contesting that. Theoretically, you could just give up the first 2 Drakes and then try to secure the next 4. But that's still somewhat ambitious for any team to do. But looks like Painhunter decides base right now. That man has a blasting one in his inventory. I really hope it's not an item that a cursed book that I believe it is. It might become.
Might be. Doesn't have the setup for the healing, but other than that, not too much I'd go with it for.
Morella's actually not terrible here, I think. Now I look at it, since they don't have too much MR. But,
see, but in that case, I just go with the Oblivion Orb.
You can just go to Oblivion Orb, or you can just go Lion.
Oblivion Orb and save
more damage.
Especially with the Karthus, where you're just going to be doing that sustained DPS for long periods of time. Oh, the Bushmonk though finds the Aphelios ultimate, grabs him. Green gonna be immediately knocked up with the Fidger, and that's a 5-man for the kill.
Yeah, we'll take those.
Good little heads up play by 24 team, and now the re-engage lights out, doing a bunch of damage. Ruckshot even through the shield or ulti coming out. Camille's TP to the fight, getting on the way onto the backline. Now it's the Paranoia all on the ADC, and Shampoo finds his kill. Orin going to be nearsighted up, is not going to kill the Panhandler. Panhandler finds it instead. And now it's Inkler and Lights Out running for the hills. Not enough damage really traded back onto the top laner for 2014. And that's a way too much of an overcommitment if you're IZF. You already have your jungler, which is a lot of your engage, out of the picture. And with a Camille TP, and that's the sign to get the heck out, turn tail, and run.
Yeah, that was really good, like, what's it called, Fnatic Death Bush, one might call it. From 2014, just to abuse the lack of vision that they have, which is kind of strange considering that they had set up earlier, but I guess they just swept it out and then they didn't consider that people might just be chilling.
Izone actually reset really late. They continued to clear out waves.
Oh, I see.
So they did end up resetting, I think, like very late on in that timer, like 20 seconds or something.
Yeah, I really hope this is not Morello's, man. I really hope this is not Morello's.
We haven't seen anything else in the build, so we can't see it just yet.
I'm gonna have to flame someone if this is Morello's. Sanguine Blade Rush onto the Nocturne, so it looks like he will be looking for a more split push kind of gameplay.
Also, that item is very good on Nocturne because of the Paranoia.
Yeah, indeed it is. Very powerful build. Looks like it's kind of surprising. I actually have not seen that item built in a really long time since it released preseason. Since he did get gutted after
solid 90% attack speed for being a side lane.
Like the last time I saw a build was when Trick 2G was playing Udyr or something, and he built it. That's Trick, so he also plays Trundle and does the same thing. That's Trick, so he does whatever he wants.
That's a different animal.
Looks like should be fine.
Yep, 2K might overcommit for this.
Oh, is this the move? Let's see.
No. Bot lane this time though going pretty well in the favor of 2014. Also was a Glacial Mallet completed for the Cassidon, so
yeah. That Frozen Gauntlet,
a ton of armor now.
I think it's pretty smart, but Karthus was still kind of, even though Cassidon does have. Sorry, what'd you say?
I said Frozen. I said Iceborne Gauntlet. That's Frozen Mallet, not Iceborne Gauntlet.
Oh, yeah,
I am slow.
Oh yeah. I think all the AD champions on 2014 is gonna mold a little bit after seeing the Iceborne Gauntlet. But
oh, that damage out of the orb! What
yo,
the heck is that?
Oh,
Trent Excelia losing this trade so poorly as Shamsu might be next. Green gonna immediately get the ulti flash up shots, don't get by a little bit of time. Green able to secure that kill. Now it's Panhandler seeing what he can do. Lights Out doing a ton of damage on the cast, and even only having the tier, no AP just yet, gets a shutdown. 700 gold, but that is the Requiem.
Later.
And Panhandler gets a trade kill anyway. Inkler might be next, has to pop the barrier veil, gonna grab the ulti for the Calibrum and finds the kill.
Oh. That champion's not balanced. Because I don't know what that champion does, so therefore it's not balanced. 5-head.
That is very good usage of Calibrum plus Calibrum ulti.
Even though Renaxia did get chucked out earlier, that Ravenous Hydra is doing a lot of work in terms of...
Yeah, it's just winning the overall sustain war in top lane.
Like, he just autos a wave and he recovers about 25% of his HP, and it's like, oh, wow. That's what I like to see.
Absolutely.
He could probably actually dive here if he really wanted to, but maybe he's an insecure player, so he won't dive.
Maybe,
diving Ornn might be difficult though, but if he dodges everything with his Hex-Cycle Automaton, it doesn't matter.
Ornn is a bit of a rough champion to dive with everything considered.
So far looks
yeah,
so far looks like a 2.5k gold lead. He's building a Glacial Shroud, which is a little bit worrisome, considering that he might be going the Iceborne Gauntlet again. And I don't know if he should do that. Because going Abyssal Mask would be really good, because...
Karthus, yeah. Oh, find his way. Good flash out, actually, from Little Brain. Waited till the initial hit connected before flashing, so the Paranoia just doesn't go all the way on top, but... Yeah,
like I was saying, Abyssal Mask would be really good because Cassidon is Casanova will be diving in as well, which would do extra magic damage, and it will also provide some resistance for Karthus. So
yep. Ooh, Lights Out might be in some trouble here. Finds the Braum passive. Shamsu here as well. Pops the Seraph, gets stunned though off the flash, is also feared, gets that little bit of Ignite ticking down, and Shamsu able to find the kill, just overextended a little bit too far for that mid lane tier 1.
yeah, I think by this current game state, I probably the current game, I think 2014 does win mid game pretty hard, but as soon as they get into the late game, it might be more up in the airs. But I think if 2014 plays it right, it should not reach late game.
Yeah, Karthus' chameleon abilities also don't scale poorly at all. Ooh, finds the knock to interrupt the hook shot, so Red Excelia ain't able to get out of this one. Falls to In Color. Great knockup from Green, showing off some Rek'Sai mechanics this game with these interrupts. Ooh, Call of Porta coming out, looking for the re-engage. Only finds it on the Felix, but that's all you need to find. Veil. Fork, or immediately flashes out. Fork came down from Little Brain to try to continue to follow up, as Lights Out still looking for more, going very aggressively up in the front line.
Yeah, a little bit of mixed execution coming from Ruxic Warrior, where he did not block the Ornold on the backside. So Veil was forced to flash heal. Yeah, if the Ormo was blocked fully, I think he would have been fine just by walking it out. But at the end of the day, it's advantage given towards izone fangirls.
Yep. And top lane tier 1 finally taken down as well.
There seems
Getting
to be
a little bit of gold back in their pockets.
Yeah, it seems like there's no focus coming from 2014 on the Rift Heralds at all. Because they have not gone a single one this whole entire series, both games. So, looking at these builds, it does appear that it will be a Iceberg Gauntlet purchase on Ornn.
The book has been built.
The book has been built.
The book has been built.
This is really sad to see when
There's only 2 people who actually have any healing component.
Yeah, it's like, if you really want to go Spellbinder, not Oblivion Lord, that's fine. But come on, man, Lion just does more damage. And plus, you get Madness.
I still think, I mean, there is healing, but I'm not sure if it's worth.
I don't think it's worth it at all.
Yeah, it's not. It's not worth going to Morello. Just go Leandri's and call it a day.
Leandri's broken item. Madness. That passive is so strong, honestly.
I think it's strong. I wouldn't say it's broken.
Oh, okay, it's not broken, but it's better than Morello's.
I would definitely say it's strong. It's definitely than Morello. It's better in Morello's in more situations. As here comes a combination of multi-affliction fissure plus the paranoia and the last Requiem. Veil able to go on a killing spree. Stunned up immediately is Green, unable to find the return kill on Chopsu, and that's 2 to 2014 in the end.
Yeah, they just do so much damage, honestly.
And the pick making is fantastic. Coordinating the ults well, making sure they get locked down. Going very well for 2014, and that's going to be what they keep going for here, I'd say, if they want to get this game. 2Kim going to do Call of Forge God here, looking to clear the wave and get some disengaged, but will be rooted up by the Gravitum. Has to immediately get back out of there. Has no MR to speak of, so Panhandler ripping through him.
Yeah, I'm really just appalled at the itemization coming from 2Kim here.
Honestly, Abyssal Mask would probably be the preferred buy there because you can just upgrade it for yourself. But if you're going to go with complete this Frozen Mallet that we think he's building, I think I'd rather see at that point the Adaptive Helm, because a lot of the magic damage is just going to be from that Karthus spamming abilities.
Yeah, like...
So Adaptive Helm's passive doing very well to prevent a lot of that.
If he builds Abyssal Mask, he can then get the Locket of Van Solari, and then basically you can mitigate like about a third of Karthus' ult damage on like your teammates, and it's like this itemization is not good. Just like, and then as for the Rek'Sai, I think Black Cleaver is fine. I'm not really sure what Casadino wants to build for the ornament, but I'm guessing
Toss another pick, going right back on to the 8 to carry Shamsu. Another quick kill. Little Bray just getting punished for being on the map.
Yeah, that's the life of AD carry, man. You can't just don't walk up. Like, if you walk up, you're just asking to die. If you're walking him up to a Nocturne, because you don't really know where that homie is. Like,
and that's kind of where In Color's pick on the Senna is doing izone a little bit wrong. Is once Little Brain gets engaged on by the Nocturne, by the Camille, there's just really no peel without the Orange standing right next to him.
I think Red Naxxia should really be in a side lane right now. He can probably 1v1 anyone. Well, I don't know if he can 1v Kassadin, but he can 1v1 the Ornn for sure. So if they do a 1-3-1 here, it's gonna be really strong for. It's gonna be really strong for. Oh.
Yep, possible engagement here. Just gonna be a root landed onto red. Gets pretty chunked actually. Senna does have a bit of lethality going her way at this point in the game. But mid lane tier 1 going very low. Should fall over to the Calibrum. Onto Vale.
Boy, as I said, 2014 really should be doing 1-3-1 here with Karthus, well, with Aphelios mid, and either Nocturne or Karthus on the side lane along with Camille on the other side. Because they can't respond to 1-3-1. IZO fangirls cannot respond to 1-3-1 very well because they have one capable side laner and the other one can only just catch waves in the Ornn. So with the 1-3-1, you can deny vision so much more effectively, especially given the current state of the game. So the next thing that's coming up is probably going to be, it is the Baron buff. I'm assuming that there's going to be a fight around that at some point pretty soon. Karthus gets getting that, building towards that Rabadon's death cap.
Yeah, and he's just going to hurt so much.
Yeah, the Iceborne Gauntlet.
After he gets that one.
This is... How much armor does Kassadin have? Allow me to check. He has 180 armor. And about 197 magic, not magic, AP. So, come on, man. Let me... Kassadin.
That's
199 now,
good.
so... Because, also... Let's see how much... Ornn only has 75 MR. Versus... The...
Oh, he got Negatron. He picked the Negatron. He's got 40 more.
Negatron, but he's not going to be able to upgrade the Abyssal Mask, which is really devastating.
Yeah, I think at that point, since you're not upgrading, you might as well go for the Adaptive Helm.
I think
it's a better buy here.
Yeah, I think... Oh, sorry, let's see.
Ooh, Ornn coming out. Rush Warrior, though, already in the wings. Lions, lights out immediately pops the Camille, taking a lot of damage from that Aphelios Chakram turret.
I would like to see
overall.
I would like to see Black Cleaver built on an auction here. That'd be really strong into all this armor itemization coming out from the top side of the map.
Oh, feels bad as well. Little Braid's second item GA. That is the item of a broken man, and possibly a broken Inkiller. He's gonna be slowed permanently and taken out. Panhandler says, "Thank you very much. I landed 2 Qs for the trouble."
How much AP does man have? He's gonna have so much with Rabadon's. He has 306 right now. He has about 400 after Rabadon's buy.
Yep. Oh, and this is a dive immediately onto green. He's the Nocturne doing quite a bit of damage, flashing forward to maintain the fear. Green gonna get 1 knockup, but even with the ult, he can't dodge away from the Nocturne. Shamsu goes on a rampage here, 5-1-4.
I'm not really too knowledgeable about Nocturne mid builds, but do you go Triforce on Nocturne mid? Is that a thing?
Not usually. You just normally go full like one shot.
Okay. I think.
And that Baron started for the side 2014, already about a 5k gold lead going into 27 minutes. I mean, IZF could look to contest, but at this point, with only 2 members in the pit, with 2k health left on the Baron, there's not really much to steal. Glacier Fizzler comes out, and Aphelios all misses. Panhandler easily able to secure. And 2Kim going to be the initial sacrifice. No one going to pursue on a Little Brain. And that's really just a pointless death at that juncture. Lights out. Trying to Bushmonk Vale. Gets 1 hit in. Gonna immediately pop the Zonia's Hourglass to stay alive. And Vale gonna heal right back up after popping his own.
Yeah, so coming out this draft, I think most of what I said kind of just was fulfilled. Because this Karthus is just like deleting people with his Qs, and they're not really itemizing well against either. Because I would prefer to see, like in an ideal world, I would prefer to see Sunfire into Abyssal Mask, or yeah, Sunfire into Abyssal Mask into Locket of Iron Solari for the Ornn.
For those wondering, if you missed it the last time we said, Kassadin currently has 192 armor after taking Sork Shoes, Zonia's, and Frozen Mallet. Or not Frozen Mallet, frickin' Iceborne Gauntlets.
Yeah. Considering how Kassadin kind of plays out in team fights, right? He's looking to dive, and Nocturne is looking to dive as well. So they're not really going to be interacting with each other realistically in a 5v5 team fight. So Cassidy really shouldn't. I don't think should have itemized this heavily into Iceborne or into armor, because he will be dealing with the Karthus even more so than anything else. Like an Abyssal Mask on Cassidy might actually be pretty good, in my opinion, because he's gonna be.
It's a frozen fist now, by the way.
Yeah.
He now has 252 armor.
Yes, cause like I don't think it's just
why
like, you don't need that armor, in my opinion. Like that Zonya's is good, but the Gauntlet is very questionable in my opinion.
I mean, at this point, 2014 is such a mixed damage profile. It does so much of it that you might as well just be building to one-shot their entire team anyway. As fight breaks out here, Incolor able to get away from Paranoia, but Tukim is not. Karthus ulti coming down as well. Little Brain's already popped into GA.
Over half the health loss from Low Brain.
This is what it looks like when you smack them with your wallet.
The wall of pain, that's what I call it.
8k gold. Now the lead is the Soul Point Drake spawns for 2014, and this should be 2014 closing it out here in game 2. You're kind of looking if you're IZF. Hope 2014 somehow throws a team fight, somehow fights uncoordinated. Lights Out actually still does a fair amount of damage, able to get a pick onto Red, but going to be at the cost of the mid lane tier 2 and maybe more.
Yeah, it's pretty difficult for Axel to 1v1 the Cassidy, considering how much armor this man has. And looks like the Abyssal Mask is coming out from Cassidy potentially with that Catalyst, unless he's going Roa, which would be pretty bad, considering it's 30 minutes of the game.
Lights Out. Possibly looking for another pick here. Does find Rakshak Warrior. Has a Braum passive already stacked at 3, so might not want to go until that's off. Just gets off. Green immediately goes in ultimate. Glacial Fissure fighting both, and now the damage is too much. CC coming down from Toucan buys a bit more time, and Lights Out actually makes it out of there without dying, so a good set of picks for izone.
Castlin gets every showdown that's winnable. Yeah, that's true. Castlin is well, apparently Castlin. No vision on the Castlin though, so can't really go in on that. Yeah, it looks like we have the Hex Drinker coming out for the next year after 1v1ing that Cassidy and getting deleted. I don't think that Hex Drinker is gonna do too much personally, but I'm curious. Speaking
He's finally starting to build AP. I swear to God, that's a Rod of Ages he's building.
Imagine being a Rod of Ages at...
He's building a Rod of Ages at 31 minutes. This man, he's already got the win in his sights. He's got that finish line. He sees the red Nexus falling. He's like got them 2020 goggles on for back in... We always say 2020 vision back in the last decade.
Yeah, this is...
He's like, I know this game is going late. I'm building the Rod and we're going to be tanky.
This is a really true itemization.
Paranoia though, on multiple. Will not find anything. Has to immediately flash away as... In color not going down just yet, able to re-sustain on green. Plazo doing some work, but it's not going to do enough. As Lights Out coming from the side off the ultimate, not able to find anything just yet. The Braum actually doing a lot of work with the shield, or going very low as well behind the multi-man knockup, trying to get something done. Cannot. Green's in the mix now, getting off that true damage, but it's still Panhandler in company doing so much damage. Lights Out gets out for now, pops the zone, needs to buy some time, but there's still 40 full health members on top of him. Might actually get out of here. He's also on a very low CDR.
Then almost 17 casted, and that he just runs away. But
it 2 for 4.
They could not burst. They couldn't burst down the Karthus. That's why they could lost that. I think because if the Karthus died, then their over itemization to armor would actually work out pretty well, considering the rest of their team is just AD. But because the Karthus was able to stay alive, like they couldn't win that fight at all. And also, I think Cassidy would have won that if he just ulted back into the Philios, but...
Maybe. I mean, he didn't know where the other members are, so yeah. Don't blame him too much. He's now picked up a Kindle Gem. Has sold the Kindle Gem.
Rod of Ages.
Buys a Ruby Crystal.
33-minute Rod of Ages.
What's he gonna build with this Ruby Crystal? What? Give me your spec. What's he building with the Ruby?
Ruby Crystal?
It's a lot of things. You could go like Leandry's.
I can respect the Leandry's purchase always. I can always respect the Leandry's purchase.
It gives him 300 HP, so it sticks with his tank cast and build line.
I don't know what he's building though, because like I'm already molding from like his other optimization choices.
Yeah, hold on.
But
he
it
has
is
2400 AP or HP,
2400
354 AP, 4300 mana.
Well, he's not running on mana anytime soon.
He is a few hundred shy of double his HP in mana.
Yeah, that Seraph is gonna be pretty useful then.
Note, if Panhandler ever gets a hold on him, he only has 38 magic resist, so that won't be.
38?
He has 38 MR.
What is the stats for his passive in reducing MR or reducing AP damage? It's like 1%, right? Or something like that.
15%.
15%. Yeah. Why does Karthus have Morello? That's what I'm asking. Come on, man. You just get a line trees and you're like doing like twice as much damage. Okay, not twice, but.
Baron is up, and it's actually IZF who are going to start up first, but Red Excelia is in the base. I don't think this is a trade you want to take.
They can 4v5 this.
Those turrets.
They can 4v5
this. Trying to find the engage, finds the Taylor's Pandora comes onto the backline. In color just deleted. As now further into the fight, Gas trying to get some work done and gets stunned up. He gets shut down. The Veil is untouched. Green gets a kill on him in the end. Tukim, the only member standing tanky, is all get out. But it's
400 damage
tanky enough. Has the Gargoyles, has no MR.
GG.
And the base shall fall. Rednexilla on the split push.
Hello?
Ooh, gets shut down by Little Brain, who's going to be able to possibly get minions off, so I speak too soon. The Nexus will not fall just yet.
That was a flash of the century. I have to say Keck W on that one. Can I get a Keck W in the chat?
Oof.
Okay,
game is not over, but 2 inhibitors down.
Yeah, I think
no more outer towers.
This is not winnable. Unless 2014 throws giga hard. I think, as Spicy said earlier.
Karthus, by the way, currently at 669 AP. Just bought one of the sorcery potions.
Giant spelled on the. Is that a dead man's plate?
Please tell me he's not going dead man.
Is that a dead man's plate?
Please, for the love of God, if you're gonna build resistance at this point, buy like an abyssal mask or something, my guy. Because you're not getting one shot by the AD. You're getting one shot by the Karthus.
Yeah, as long as Karthus remains untouching these fights, the fights are automatically won. Last fight, he didn't die. He lived with like a sliver of HP. But even if Karthus dies, like he has his ghoul that will, his wraith figure that would allow him to just continue to output damage.
Warren, by the way, at 36 minutes in the game, only had against a Karthus, who is 9-2, has 94 MR.
94 MR. That's
on Ornn.
And how much does Morello reduce? Like 30, right? What is it? Wait, let me hover over and read this in Korean.
15 flat pen.
Okay, yeah, that's nothing. Yeah, Lindra's what if he's.
And he has so boots, which is another 18, so he's doing around 33 magic pen.
Iceburn Sunfire is pretty strange, but that's beside the point now. We should keep the focus on how they.
Elder does reset here, so a little bit more time bought for izone to get their whereabouts. Burning down around 2.5k. More Ornn gonna be stolen out, and it's stolen! Green gets the kill from the Umbro! And now it's a re-engage. Little Brain taking down the Elder Dragon's on there. If he gets the kill on a Panhandler, that might have been the trade. Green with the hero play in game 2.
That's a great steal. Shouldn't have happened because, well, I guess there's no way to zone him out, but they will be rotating right towards Baron buff. Realistically, izone can't really contest.
Nope,
because it's gonna die too fast probably.
Oh no! Back off, Cassidy, Senna. This is not something you can contest. Tukim's gonna look to cancel some backs anyway. I'm not really sure why. It's not like they're back throwing. Ooh, does force Panhandler's flash. Lights out, still pursuing further. But Cloud Soul, baby. You go speedy quick.
Yeah, so honestly, just wait out the Elder Drake. Wait it out, and then push. Because you can't fight them with Elder Drake. Like, I mean, you could probably. You might be able to win if you play a red, but it's just better to wait it out since Elder Drake lasts. Baron lasts longer than Elder Drake, so we'll have to see.
Yep.
Oh, also, there's a Liandry's. Haunting Guys built on Panhandler.
Late game, baby. He's going for the Leandry's late.
Last item laundries.
He is just absolutely massive this game.
What is the average elo in this game? I believe it's like high plat.
High plat to low diamond, somewhere.
Yeah.
These teams are some of our more like higher average rank.
Yeah. So, how long until the Elder Drake expires? Let me check. I can check probably. About.
Not really sure. I don't have an Elder Dragon timer, though. The Call of Fortune is channeled mid lane. Nocturne, though, finding his way onto the backline immediately. Inko does not go down. He loses just a sliver of HP. One champion does go into GEA as now Redneck Celia finds his way into Lights Out, but the executions are coming in. IZF is winning this. They're getting the shutdowns coming through. Lights Out is just too tanky for them to deal with. The final Requiem gets the kill on the Lights Out. That might be enough to turn it. Veil is the last one standing. Green's still looking for the kill, but can't find it. The Aphelios crit's doing way too much damage. Should have probably backed out off the last Requiem, but it ends up being a 4 for 4. The Elder Dragon executes coming through huge for IZF.
I really don't understand why these fight during the Elder Drake. They could have just waited it out. It's if you just wait it out, you almost automatically win the next team fight because you're just far ahead. But at this point in the game, full items are coming in, full builds are coming in. Karthus is already finished with the build. Nocturne is about 1 item off. Aphelios is also finished, and if you just wait out the Elder Drake, I think you win automatically, and you can just push with Baron buff with the Camille split push. And what can you really do against that, right?
Yeah, that was definitely a fight they shouldn't have been taking by any stretch of the imagination.
Because Elder Drake is so strong that, like, even if you're behind, you might be able to win a fight, right? Just it's pretty unbalanced.
We're at 40 minutes of the game. In less than 3 minutes, Lights Out with his Rod of Ages he bought at 30 minutes in the game is going to be fully stacked.
Man, this Lights Out might be 5-hit, actually.
This might be, thanks to 2014 actually just throwing leads and advantages, going to be a 5-head from Lights Out, and I really hate it.
Oh, Aerosol hitting nothing.
Is the most missed ultimate in the game.
Oh, really?
At least in pro play.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of hard to hit, dude. It's like
it is not the easiest thing to hit.
it just feels so awkward to throw. But luckily, they're all level 18, so the cooldown should be great.
It's a super quick cooldown at this point. It's like less than 60 seconds, I think.
Yeah, I forgot to mention that Cloud Soul is such a strong. Well, Cloud Drake is so strong in Karthus.
Especially when you have 30% ult reduction already just from having 3 Cloud in general.
Yeah, I think he also takes a Ultimate Hunter. I think that's the rune.
Yeah, you definitely take that on him.
Yeah, so,
it's 4-man top currently for the side of 2014. Assuming Ruckshot comes over, that'll make it 5. So is just gonna push down this last top lane turret potentially. Though not looking for the fight. Baron up in 150, Elder in 117. And that's probably where this game will be decided.
I think
on those 2 fights, hopefully. This is starting to turn into an IMT,
TSM.
IMT TSM, and I really don't want to see that. As Call of Fortune possibly on a red, immediately pops Zonia's early Senna ult as well. This is a lot of key ultimates actually for IZF. They might have overcommitted for the pick. Cargo is going to buy a lot of time on 2Kim. Lights Out in the team already popped Zonia's, but Panhandler still alive at full health with the Requiem available is not a good sign. Veil goes on a killing spree. Green is half HP, going lower and lower by the second. Panhandler has the ult if he wishes to channel it. Instead, immediately going to push down mid, and that is way too many resources blown onto red by IZF. In color and Little Brain looking to contest for the inhib, but shall fall very quickly, and that is an open nexus. They have the fight. Green's already down though, and Lights Out's going. It's gonna buy time, but the fear's coming in, and that is a kill over Little Brain doing what he can to kite out Shamsu as well, but it's just not gonna be enough. Little Brain gets revived, gets a shutdown actually, but the Aphelios still up and standing. The Karthus getting his passive as well. Nexus going to fall.
Yeah,
the respawn timer is too long. 2014 finally ended just as Lights Out because his 10th Rod of Ages stacked.
GG.
That will be GG. 1-1 actually in the series. Still not the outcome I'd predict.
Yeah, that's overall pretty solid 2 games coming out from the 2 teams. And I actually want to show the damage done actually to. Let's see. Wow, Karthus damage 48,000. What a surprise! Might be 55, 60,000 with the Liandry's Torment, but yeah, unfortunately was not purchased. And can we get some interviews potentially, or no?
If anyone's in the chat and wants to interview, hop in like one of the team Discord chats. We will join you.
Where is this? Any interviewers in the chat? Let me set this up. All right, here we go.
Interviewing after one.
There's Vale. We can go into team 4. All right.
Hold on.
Hello.
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 Actually, I have one question. Can you explain to me the itemization choices that your jungler did with the first item Morello Nomicon purchase? Can you give me some insight on why?
Did my Karthus jungle first buy Morello?
Yes, he built a Morello Nomicon and decided to go a Liandry's Torment on the last item instead.
Yeah. Honestly, I don't know. Yeah, solid first item on Karthus apparently. I just think because of the Magic Pen, but I don't know if it should be completed instantly. Though.
Yeah, I can see that. Yeah, I think Logics would have done more damage overall, but I mean, I think Izone's itemization choices were kind of scuffed in terms of Sunfire plus Iceborne on Ornn and Iceborne on Lights Out.
If Cassidy went full damage, we would have lost 10 minutes ago.
Yeah, that roll I purchased at 33 minutes was... I don't know about that one. You got any questions?
Yeah, I do. So, Vale, we haven't seen you in ADC here in quite a few weeks on PSU LCS. I think it was fall week 4 or 5.
Yeah.
If I had to say. So how was the transition back to the role you found on Poke Squad back in the fall for the first few weeks? And what really necessitated that, do you think, for 2014?
The reason we did it was because Chamsu, or Peter, was uncomfortable on on AD carry, and he wasn't comfortable playing the meta picks like Aphelios and Senna. So I offered to switch, but I'm really not enjoying it. This role has no agency, and I can't do anything, and I just get one shot every time. Like, look at last game. Like I just like tried my best the first game, but I had no agency, so it didn't matter. But yeah, Aphelios is fun, so I like it.
Yeah, seems like you're really enjoying your time on Aphelios in the last 2 games. I was wondering about the Braum pick, because I do agree. While I do agree that you want to maximize like the peeling for yourself with Braum picks, is there any reason why you're not like going towards a Leona or anything like that?
We picked the Braum because they picked Ornn first twice, and you can block the Ornn ult with the Braumi.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Apart from that, I don't think I have too many other questions. What about you?
I know 2014 has had its like fair share of, I think, conflict so far. I've looked back to week 1, your game against FA15 having some adversity with that 1-1 victory. As a team who I think many would consider would be the upper like bracket of PSU LCS, you know, one of those top teams competing for the spot potentially in the finals at the end of the split. What are you guys exactly looking for when you do come up against some actual competition like this week against IZF, like 2015? You guys apparently, to my knowledge, absolutely stopped the Yeehaw brothers, so I don't need to comment too much on that one, but
yeah.
What is your mindset, at least, being known as one of those higher tier teams, but still having some struggles with other also very good teams?
I think our team in general is happy we got FF15 and izone out of the way, because we consider them to be like the other top teams, and then probably MLG and Siren are like other tier. So like after getting the top teams and winning them, it's pretty solid. So I think we should be able to get a bunch of 2-0s for the rest of the season.
All right.
Good
to hear from you. I said good to hear.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's kind of it. All right.
Yep.
Thanks for an interview, Vale.
No problem.
Good luck in your future games.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
So yeah, that wraps up our stream, I guess.
Yep, that is it. I can check right now to see if we have any other games on the casting schedule. So, future upcoming games for PSU LCS. Tomorrow night at 10 p.m. is Low Expectations versus Sandband. I have no idea if that's going to be streamed at all.
Yeah.
I might be able to. I'll have to see if I can get homework done, but
Don't think I can stream it, but
I might. We'll see. If it's on, you guys will know, but no, it's happening tomorrow. Any team captains that are currently watching, or you're just on the team, you don't even have to be the captain. Just anybody on the team who knows when their game is going to be, put it in our just announce it in chat somewhere. Like, ping somebody and announce it in chat, and we can put it on this register so we can get your game streamed. I know we've had a bunch of questions about it, just like popping around general and stuff, so if you want your game streamed, announce your game time so we can see if we can get people to stream it.
yeah, just let us know, because I mean, usually
Easy.
there's might be someone available and you wanna showcase your talent to the world, but yeah, we will have to see. just let anyone know. We'll add it in, and then potentially you could get a game streamed. So
I mean, it's pretty likely I have no life, so you'll probably get it streamed.
true. Right. Other than maybe this weekend on when Clash is going on, then that might be different. But other than
If anyone's schedules during Clash, I mean, God help you for finding subs.
true.
But
All right,
Yeah.
so that wraps it up.
yeah, that wraps it up for this. Once again, I've been Infamous Trash,
And it's Devin here.
and we'll see you guys hopefully tomorrow night
Right.
to continue week 3 of PSU LCS Spring back on the Rift. Peace.
Peace.